Good evening and welcome to Rehab Talk Radio. You got Co-Badge Chris here, kicking it with Kevin. Say what's up.
Yo, what up?
Alright, tonight we got two mystery guests online with us. It's going to be Josh and Shay, two longtime members. They're both green and teal lanyard. Yeah. Us being our introductory phase, which means they're 1 and 2 steps ahead of our sorry ass. But we make do. We're in for a green, right?
Yeah, we'll catch up eventually.
We'll catch up eventually.
Yeah, but it's good seeing
Don't worry,
them.
guys. We'll get you.
Yeah, it's good seeing them. Say what's up, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
That's Josh.
Yes.
Shay.
What's up?
Yep, got them rocking with us tonight. We got a few subjects we're going to be talking about. The news. On the news, we got a little bit about a $739 billion bailout. A little bit on the Kylie Rodney case we're going to be going over. About how they found and what they found. And how that segues into a subject that we talked into earlier this week, which was, the devastating climate change.
Yeah, that shit sucks.
Yep, and then Josh and Shay will be sharing a little bit about their story. At least one of them will. And how this program, one of the most intensive in America that I've ever come across, by the way. This is over a year-long program, guys. 73 guys all stuck in place together, trying not to kill each other. I'm telling you, it's one step shy of a gigantic friggin' sewing circle, is what we name it. So...
Yeah, honestly, a lot of testosterone going on, a lot of crap, but we managed to pull through. We got good vibes around. It's good. We got you guys, so
Absolutely.
We all help each other. It's a good time. What do you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely, I do. I believe that this program is it's the first one I've been to, but out of all the programs, this is really intense. Prior to that, I was rehab, but this is probably by far. If you're focused on your recovery, this is the place to be because it solely focuses on recovery and you yourself as an individual in regards to getting better.
What you put into it is what you get out.
Absolutely.
That's awesome that you say that because, it's my first program also. I've never been in a rehab program, so for me this is like a whole different vibe, whole different experience, but it's cool seeing all the people here and being super supportive and having committees and having the things that, make the program a better place and a better, living facility, I'm sure you guys have a lot of things, too, that you guys look forward to every day, even if it's something minimal here, It doesn't have to be a total drag, I guess,
Oh, yeah.
Yep. When I first got in here, I was just a ball of stomach and bones, alcoholic to the core, and now I'm on a complete different regimen. I work out every day. I enjoy chess and guitar. I've gotten back into it after a year of not playing it. Hobbies, definitely. I'm sure, Josh, you've come through a lot of changes since you've been here.
It's been it's almost, next month on the 27th will be a year since I've been sober. Yeah.
Yo, that's dope.
Yeah, I know it's a giant accomplishment for me because this is the longest time in 27 years of my life that I've actually had stable recovery going on. And I went to jail for about 6 months. I got out, and then I went to rehab in Fallon, which is a 3.5 high-intensity rehab for about 60 days. And then March 31st, I got here, and I can just see the change from my personal growth since I got here. You know, I have a lot of self-worth and a lot of self-love now, which I didn't have before.
You say 3.5 intensity rating?
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind explaining that to layman's terms for a guy like me. I know one thing, sober or not, rehab not. It's my first rehab I've ever been in.
Well, it was my first rehab too. When I got my certificate and being there, I was told a lot while I was there that this is probably like one of the highest intensity and the hardest rehabs that you can actually go to, just because of the simple fact that they really are like recovery based. You know, they don't play, they don't mess around, and it's pretty serious. So,
but I'd heard of those rehabs that don't allow you to have chocolate.
Really? I've never heard of that.
It's a vitality of some kind.
Okay.
They don't let you have chocolate or cigarettes or anything was it anything similar to that?
They don't let us have cigarettes or vaping, no nicotine whatsoever. You can get lozenges or patches, but you have to get approved for that, and it's really hard because they say if you were in jail and you get out, and they're like, well, you haven't had cigarettes or you haven't been on nicotine for this long, why would you go back to it? So you kind of have to push and pull and beg and plead to get it, but you'll get it if you keep bugging them. And they have this thing every Friday called Smoking Cessation, which is like a class they do. It's like a group, and they talk about cigarettes, how bad they are for your health, and they'll give you candy during it, like candies or chocolates, Kit Kats, things like that.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because they're trying to change their mindset of, instead of smoking, like the hand motions, you eat chocolate instead in place of that.
Yeah, they're trying to reprogram 27 years of thinking like I've got. You know?
One thing I wanted to ask, from that program, did you bring anything from that program here, or did you kind of learn what you've learned
Of course,
here?
you brought his clothes, man.
Yeah, right? Yeah, 100%.
No, it's funny you say that because, like when I think about it, it took me a while to really see, like, no, I don't think I took anything, but no, there's a lot of things I learned there that I didn't know before, like cigarettes. Some of the things that are in cigarettes I didn't know, like there's this thing called ambergris in cigarettes, which is whale vomit.
Ew.
Yeah, and they actually put that in cigarettes, and I didn't know that until I learned that there, and I learned more about why I am the way I am and why my recovery or why my addiction was the way it was because of what I went through as a kid. And I didn't realize how a lot of those things really do have an effect on your life and where you're at with your addiction. Because I always thought, it was a personal choice and I'm just getting high to get high. But no, it was the things I went through as a kid and all the things I was exposed to which made me that way. Mm-hmm. So it was eye-opening, to say the least.
That sounds eye-opening. Now, what's this thing? The whale vomit? I'm sorry, that caught my attention.
Yeah.
I don't know what you meant. That caught my attention.
Yeah.
No, it's actually worth ambergris.
Amber.
It's worth a lot of money. Like if you find it floating in the ocean, you can get paid. But it looks like a giant tumor rock, but it's whale vomit. It's called ambergris, and they use it for like extensive colognes and perfumes, and they put it in cigarettes.
That's insane.
Seems like a waste of money.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm getting a boat. I'm gonna go with Be a Seaman and stuff.
I don't know if it's a waste of
Yeah.
money, because all these people be smoking, so maybe it's not a waste of money. But what I was gonna want to say is, you say you're talking about your past a bit, being here. You think like getting the therapy and the counseling and all has helped you realize that more of like your addictions, not getting high to just get high, but like realizing that was your way of coping, or like.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was more so what I was exposed to, like the things I saw or I witnessed as a kid. Like my father and my mother often got high, and my dad would often beat my mom, and things like that. In the neighborhoods I grew up in and where I grew up, a lot of gang banging, a lot of drug use, and I think that really did have an effect on me because when you're young like that and you're growing up, a lot of the things that you see, like a child's brain is like a sponge, and it absorbs that type of information, you know what I mean? And what I took of it is that drugs are okay if you're showing someone that you love them. Abuse is the way to show it, and the only way to get away from troubles that you don't feel you can talk about or get off your chest is to use drugs. So for a long time, because of all the things I went through, drugs was like my security blanket, but the younger I was, the less intense the drugs were. It started with like marijuana, and then like I stole my grandparents' pain pills a lot, like hydrocodone, oxycodone, and then it just gradually got worse. I was selling pounds of weed in high school with a friend, and then that went from selling weed to people who, of course, when you're in that game, people often bring other things to you, like cocaine, meth, and like heroin and stuff. And it had come across me a few times when I ever tried heroin, but the oxycodone, the Roxys, I started smoking those, and then it just gradually got worse, and eventually somebody offered me heroin, and I was like, well, fuck it, you know what I mean? Like, well, what's the worst that could happen? I want to try it. And from the second I tried it, I just immediately got hooked. And I do think that everything I went through as a child led up to me actually being that way and doing that and thinking that it was okay and acceptable. Because my grandparents were on pain medication, my mom and dad were always using drugs, and all I ever saw was drugs, and all the friends and all the cool kids, so to speak, that I hung around with, they all got high, and I wanted to be cool. And plus, it was all I ever knew growing up, so I didn't think anything was wrong about that,
Yeah. One thing I'd want to ask is, I heard you and Brandon are gonna work at the Eddie House, help out the kids that are younger. And what's the best advice you would give them, or even your younger self, now that you're like more aware of why you dealt the way you did and coped the way you coped,
No, if we could just touch on that for the second. Josh here has taken initiative to go and talk to these kids at the Eddie House. Now, if you could explain what the Eddie House is and what it does.
Okay.
So I can understand.
The Eddie House is a program that's down the street from WellCare, and they house kids from anywhere that are 16 to 26. So from young young teens to our age who are very much sexually active. They are drug users or they've been abused, and it's like that's their safe place and that's their safe haven. And they go there and they do all sorts of activities. And a lot of these kids are like quiet and shell shocked, and like they don't really talk as much as you think they would because of the things that are going on in their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a shell shock for us when we first come in here and we're grown men, for God's sake. Imagine what it would be like for a little kid.
Oh, I know, and like I think about that a lot. Like I can only imagine, like, okay, like we're adults, you know, we did this to ourselves, so we have say over our lives. They're young and like they don't have any say over their lives, and it's like it's fucked up because they're stuck in that and there's nothing they can do about it. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, what can they do? You know, they're like, okay, I'm getting beat, or my parents are using drugs, or like I'm getting molested, or anything like that, and they don't have anybody to go and talk to about it. And it's sad because they have to live like that. You know, what are they going to do? That's where they live. Are they going to go live in the streets? Like, hell no, you know, they're kids.
Right.
And that's a terrifying thought. So it was my idea to go and reach out to them with Brandon, because if I could have someone just come and talk to me when I was that young, I honestly feel like maybe I would have listened, because I did take DARE in elementary school, but I didn't think DARE was worth a shit. Honestly, all DARE really did was teach me the drugs that were available in my neighborhood that I could have been using all along, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that that's what that was, or that's what it does to you. And, you know, it puts the curiosity in me and I wanted to try it. But I wish I had someone who was kind of like me, telling me younger, like, I would have listened, you know, like, oh, drugs are bad, don't do them. And I give them my life story and what I've been through. And I know it's relatable because as a kid, the things that they're currently going through, I have been through. And I can relate to them and they'll listen.
Do you think it's more of like a sort of like a sibling connection, you know, because you guys are like kind of same age, you know, and like they can probably hear you out more than they would to an adult or someone that works there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that might be an influence towards them, or just you telling them your story could be something that might open their eyes a bit more? You know, what's your...
Well, see, when we talked about it, I was told, like, for us not to really go and tell them our story because HIPAA, you know, we can't say too much about ourselves and our lives.
Okay.
But I want to touch bases on their lives and what they've been through, and I want them to tell me their story, so that way, in any way, I can relate to them. Like, you know, like, I've been there. I've done that. I relate, because I want them to know that they can confide in me and that they can feel safe with me, because, you know, I'm not aggressive, you know, I'm a giant goofball, and I'm loving and caring, and I know they'll see that and they'll be like, okay, this dude's pretty fucking cool, you know, like,
that's it. Those kids need positive attitude for it. Yeah, and I'm completely for that. Now you're the head of the committee that's got a few guys going over there on a rig to do it.
Yeah. So first, she's inviting us over there to do like a tour of the whole property, which me and Brian are totally stoked and looking forward to. Because we never thought that it was going to come and be what it is now, you know, like we talked about it and it's actually like becoming something, and it's so crazy to just sit back and watch it turning into what it is.
Like,
you know,
a child grow.
Yeah, it's so exciting. And we're just like, dude, no way, like we're really doing this. And even the case managers and the program directors telling us, like, dude, this is the first time anybody's ever done anything like this, you know? And for those kids to know that someone is actually going out of their way to let them know that someone gives a shit about them and what they're going through, whether they know me or not, because I know most of those kids probably don't even know who I am, but just them knowing somebody cares about what they're going through and has love for them and wants them to know, like, hey, I'm here for you, you can come talk to me anytime you want. That's a really, really big thing.
And yes, if you or someone you know, guys, is experiencing any type of the symptoms that was stated earlier, whether you're a child yourself, you know a child, that's the Eddie House. It's at 888 Willow Street, Reno, Nevada, 89502, and their phone number is 24 hours a day, 775-384-1129.
I wanted to ask also, like, I like what you said about, like, if you were their age and someone came into your life and talked to them, I feel like they're gonna look back to that, you know, when they're our age, and they'll be like, man, I remember that time these group of guys came and they talked to me, you know what I mean? I think that's so inspiring, because I feel like that's that positivity that they need, and that's what the house needs, you know? We need those role models in this place. Yeah, you're giving back so much to the community, so much to us. It's just like, it's very inspiring, if you ask me. And I'm glad that, like, that idea that you and Brandon had has become what it is, you know?
You know, you said with what's going on in the community or what they're seeing, you know, I know that when you're living in a negative, active lifestyle of like addiction, or like the children are getting abused or whatever, a lot of the things that they see are going to be negative because they're focused so much on the negative. And I'm trying to put something more positive back in the community so that way people can start to see the positive instead of the negative. Because it's easy to focus on those things and pay attention to all the bad that's going on around you when there's nothing but bad happening to you. So if you were to reverse that and you're putting positive out there and happiness, and the world's going to take it and manifest and make something out of it. And what's going to get back is going to be positive, and people are going to see, the world's beautiful, people are great. Maybe the world's not such a bad place after all, you know what I mean? And faith might be restored in humanity.
Right, these kids, everybody needs a little bit of sunshine in their life. It's definitely a good, positive thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
Definitely commended here. It's been, every morning we have a group. We have a morning meeting where 73 guys show up under a parking lot, and what we all discuss our wants and needs and favors and praises and committees of the day. And definitely kudos to you, Josh, for starting up this committee and everything that you've done with it.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. I remember growing up, there was like that big brother, big sister thing. The fact that you're going out of your way, you're still focusing on yourself, you're still in recovery, yet you're still willing to put some of your time to these people and these kids, man. It's pretty
Absolutely,
cool.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's something that not a lot of people would do, especially if they're just so focused on them, and the fact that shows a lot about your character. You also do the meditation committee here in the house. Tell me a bit about that. How you liking it? I know it can be a little rocky sometimes with committees here and people kind of going in and not going in. So
People jump in and out of every committee. By the way. It's just the way it works here.
What made you start it though?
So when I first got here, I knew that I had antsy pants. I just got out of jail, and right from jail, I went to a extremely strict, intense rehab where I wasn't allowed to go outside until they told me I was allowed to go outside. So I still feel like I was in jail when I was going outside. I'd be like, tier time, you know what I mean? But that's how it felt. But when I got here, I just wanted to go for a walk. I'm back in my setting. I'm back in the neighborhood that I was literally getting high just down the street from months earlier. And I was just excited to get out and go see people and be like, hey, look at me, man. I'm sober. I'm in recovery. Like, look at how healthy I am. Look at how happy I am, And I know they had the running and walking committee, but it was just way too fucking early for me to get into that, which I'm still not into that yet.
I'd say it's early for all of us.
Yeah.
6 a.m., man.
It's all about the morning crew, but not that. That is too early.
Yeah.
Especially me and Chris. We be sleeping
That's
super
it.
late.
I don't exercise until about 7 at night. That's when I'm ready.
We get like no sleep, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And they go so early, and I was just like, fuck that. Well, how can I make it to where I can still go for walks with my brothers here, So Sean and I decided to come up with the idea for a committee. We're like, peace and meditation, we can go for walks and mindfully, view our surroundings and the people in the neighborhood and just enjoy what we're around and absorb it and, see what it does for you. Because I feel like if you want to grow in recovery, the only way you're going to is to be around uncomfortable situations, and to be right down the street from where I was literally overdosing months earlier and seeing familiar faces and being able to fight that urge to want to get high while having that mindful walk was really good for my recovery. So that's when I started Peace Meditation Committee, and we go for walks a lot. We sit down, meditate. We'll listen to I remember you were there that one time.
Yeah, we were listening to soothing music. You had out sagebrush.
Yeah, sage, Palo Santo.
I'm not sure what Palo Santo.
It's like a special wood shade.
It's a sacred wood from South America that you burn. So sage gets rid of negative energy, and Palo Santo protects against it.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Okay, so it's a ward.
Yeah,
it's
so
a warding.
it's like they go hand in hand. I like burning that because after going for those walks and just seeing all the negative and the hurt that I put myself through out there, I don't want to carry it back. So then I'll burn it and have that mindfulness walk and then sit with all the guys and listen to those positive affirmations and burn that, and keep the positive going,
Plus, the guy can get mad cabin fever in this place.
Yeah.
Especially, we're in a 3-4 hotel surrounded by dudes. I mean, you got to get out eventually.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way
Mentally,
you got to.
physically, just get out. You know what I mean? It's cool though, like that you started that just because I feel not a lot of people are spiritual in that. You know, I think being spiritual with yourself, getting those clear mindset of self-affirmation, being positive, it really helps in recovery. It's helped me a lot, and I think the fact that we have that is pretty badass.
Well, it's refreshing because also you don't really do that when you're under any type of influence. You're not going to go and you're going to, stop and take a second, smell the flowers, and meditate. That's the last thing you're going to do as an addict. So,
do you see downtown Reno different now that you're like sober and like not, you're like going on walks and enjoying the scenery now, and like, do you see it differently?
I really do, and it's shocked me because things I used to just take for granted that I never really gave a shit about before. All I just cared about was shooting up heroin. And now it's like the sound of that moving water down there is just it's beautiful. And the trees and the smells of outside and the freshness and just even the sky at night, the stars, things that I never really gave a fuck about before, but I'm so grateful for now because I am sober. And it's crazy, man. To just that change is so major. Seeing where I was, like, I didn't care about nothing, man. I didn't even care what I looked like. Hadn't showered in months, same clothes on, hair looked like shit. You know what I mean? And I was just strung the fuck out. But now it's like going out there, it's nice. Like, I care. Like, I don't like littering. I like the way that it sounds when the trees blow, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just things like that. It's beautiful. I love it.
Straight nature. And then we're lucky enough to have that sort of stuff around here. We got the Truckee River. It's pretty long, man. It's a pretty long river. We got Idlewild. That's like 15 minutes or so, right?
And it's a very, very short walk away.
So it's
we got a lot of naturalistic places around here. They're really nice and good for the vibe.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if anything you would like to tell yourself, what would it be? Like, do you think you'd be where you're at now? If you ever, like, if someone were to tell you how this program was while you were on that, like, doing your thing, would you ever expect it to be the way it is now? Like,
no, I really wouldn't. Like,
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't. Anybody can tell me anything, but when you're in the active addiction, especially when you're on heroin, you could care fucking less what anybody wants to say to you. Like, they can make anything sound good, but the only thing you care about is heroin. Heroin is everything to you. Heroin's your mom, your dad, your lover, your best friend. It's food. It's every great feeling you've ever had in a substance.
It's a culture.
Yeah.
You've got that meth culture. You've got the heroin culture. You've got even the weed culture, man.
Yeah.
And anything outside of that culture is absolutely foreign.
It's just unorthodox, and you could care less. So you don't really think about something like recovery as anything that you're interested in.
Oh, but you think about it. It's just the last thing you think about.
Yeah. And like, I'm hungry and I'm just like, oh my God, why do I do this to myself? I fucking hate life. Everything sucks. And I'm like, dude, I want to stop, but I can't. I don't know how. Like, I hate myself and I just want to die. So you just keep shooting up. And I feel like I got saved when I got arrested. Like, I really do. Like, being arrested saved my life entirely, without a doubt. If it wasn't for them arresting me, I'd probably be dead right now, and I do not doubt that whatsoever because of how frequent I was overdosing out there. So it saved my life, and then coming here, it's just been an eye-opening experience all the way around, because I never would have thought that this is what recovery's like, this is what being sober's like. Sobriety is possible, and you can have fun and live a happy life in sobriety. Now without having to feel the need to get high is so different than what I expected it to be.
Yeah, we become so codependent on our things. Like, personally, me, it was a lot of alcohol. So I became so codependent with alcohol, just drinking all the time. And I would drink alone, I'd be down in the dumps. I'd be like, man, I'll just grab a couple beers. And then beers became, hard liquor, and it just kind of downfall.
Snowballs.
Yeah.
Snowballs.
So I just realized how codependent I became. It's what happens when you're addicted to stuff, It's like you just become so on it, and you lose yourself so much, You lose relationships with close friends, close family. Like, it just sucks, man.
Almost boxed into your own kind of world.
Yeah.
And so you don't even realize that you're doing it. You don't even realize when it happens. You don't stand up and look in the mirror after you just got it done from a long nap or a long hangover or a long trip or whatever, and again go, holy shit, it's amazing how much of an addict I just became 10 minutes ago. It's definitely gradual, and you don't realize it for a long time. I was in denial about being an alcoholic for quite a long time.
You become sort of like blinded, because you have people that tell you, right? Yet you just don't care. You know, you're like, oh, you guys don't know what I'm going through, or like you tell them like, you know, I got it under control, but do you really?
Never.
It's the biggest lie you could probably tell yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. I feel like that's one of the things I really enjoy about this place is like, no matter what background you have, no matter what your past was, we all relate to one another, you know, and it's such a really good feeling.
In some way, shape, or form, we do. No matter how minuscule, like we could have a guy here that you guys will automatically know who I'm talking about. The crankiest mean old bastard in the house.
Yep.
And it may take a while, and he may say F you, and you may have to say F you back to him for him to respect you in any manner whatsoever. But eventually there is that connection, no matter how far apart we all seem to be from each other. Outside of this place, we do manage to connect for the greater good in here. That's definitely what it's all about.
Yeah, definitely. It's shout out to Dan. That's all I gotta say. Shout out to Dan. He's a man.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. Grumpy fuck, but hey, he's sick, man. And honestly, it's crazy. We've had a lot of crazy shit happen here. Like recently, we had that what was her name? The chick that was she just got found, her body, and
Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, what was her name?
This evening, Kylie Rodney.
Yeah. Okay.
Kelly Rodney had been found after over a 10-day course in Tahoe. She had gone missing from her graduation party. She was 16 years old. She was found dead in her overturned SUV in the reservoir outside of Lake Tahoe.
Rest in peace.
It's really sad seeing that sort of stuff here, just because growing up in Reno, it's a small town, and then Truckees and Lake Tahoe, they're all pretty small too. I mean, they it was like 100. I was reading into it a little bit. It was like 100 people at this grad party. They were all like high schoolers, pretty much. It's crazy. And the fact that she went missing, her phone was off for like 3 days. They couldn't find her, and it's like it really makes you think. It was like, I think last scene was at that party, and it was like at a campground called Prosser Family. It's crazy.
Oh, so we've all kept up on this.
Yeah, well, it's so close to us. How
it's
wouldn't
just right
we?
over the hill.
Yeah, how wouldn't we?
Downtown.
Yeah, it is. It's insane. I didn't know that they found her though until you mentioned it. It's pretty crazy.
It took 18 agencies, local, state, and FBI 20,000 man-hours to find her. And she was in 14 feet of water in a reservoir. She's turned upside down in the truck, in her SUV. So I don't know if or I'm not an investigator. I can't say that rules anything out, but it's definitely worth noting and mentioning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probable cause.
Yeah, definitely. It's there's a lot of things that can go in that factor. It could be drugs or alcohol. You never know, especially because they found her in her car, so it's kind of rough to say.
Well, I mean, we've all been to graduation parties.
Yeah,
I mean,
Especially graduation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
it's
think
a big day.
I don't think there's punch in the bowl, but hey, just not in my day. There wasn't punch in the bowl.
Right. It's a crazy thing. There's a lot of crazy things that are happening here in town. Like, I don't know if about you guys, but I've been seeing a lot of billboards talking about like child kidnappings and stuff. So I don't know if she maybe was also abducted or something, and then they just left her in her car. You really don't know.
We can't say.
I don't know if you guys seen that
For
around
sure.
town.
I do a lot, like human trafficking.
Yeah.
It's really big out here in Nevada.
It's sad, man.
No, I do. I notice it when I go to the airport that there's anytime you go to the bathroom, there's like an 800 number, inside the bathroom. I can't help but think that if they're gonna kidnap somebody, they are not gonna give a cell phone to call that 800 number.
Yeah.
Just throwing that in on a side note, but yeah, it is a huge deal.
It's everywhere. It's on buses. It's on billboards. Like, they are making it a big deal just because we're a huge fucking desert. It's so easy to get into Reno and out of Reno. It's small. Like, the population's huge. We're like what? I'd say about 400,000 or so. Reno and Sparks, roughly.
Heck of a good question.
But it's so small. Like, it takes I'd say 30 minutes to get to town. Like through Reno and Sparks. It's not even that big.
It's really not.
You get to Carson, which is the capital, is 30, 45 minutes or so.
You can walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous,
And I'm from Vegas, and Vegas is a huge city compared to here.
2 million.
Yeah. Here alone?
No, in Vegas is 2 million.
Oh yeah, that's believable.
No.
Because when people say from one side of town to the other out here, they're like, oh, I'm on the other side of town. It's so far, and I'm like, dude, that's like a 10-15 minute drive. In Vegas, when you say the other side of town, it's like at least an hour and 45 minutes. If you're taking the bus, maybe 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
No joke.
What?
It's a bomb down there too.
Yeah.
I went there to go get my license for my dad. He sat in there. It took us 7.5 hours.
Yeah.
To get in some room.
Yeah, that's accurate as fuck. Yeah.
What I mean, it's a bigger city, obviously, but is there anything you see that resembles?
If I could be honest, there's a lot of similar traits here that are from Vegas, but like, dude, all I gotta say is, Reno natives, you guys put this fucking city on the map entirely.
That's what's
Completely different from what I've seen in Vegas. Like, people out here are really with the business, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen gangbanging and shit out there in Vegas. But out here, like, people are trying to make a name for themselves, and a lot of these guys are close to Cali from Sacto because it's so close. So a lot of them come with that Cali swag vibe or whatever you want to say, and it's, dude, it's no joke, man. It's some serious shit I've seen out here.
Yeah, we do got a lot of guys that are moving in here from California. A lot of people, you see it in Arizona, even in Vegas now, and here.
Reno Sparks
That's got to
man.
be shooting up A, the population, B, the numbers. With that comes the violence and all the good and bad.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Reno Sparks for sure becoming gentrified with all the work though too, you know.
What a big word. I'm
Yeah.
proud of you, man. That's an awesome word. I don't know what it means, but I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, well, it happens everywhere with small towns, you know.
I'm
It's
not
insane.
sad about my dumbness.
No, it's cool, man. It happens literally every small town. Like it just grows, man. Work comes, people come, and then it's what happens now. Everything goes up. Housing's getting fucking expensive.
Oh,
you know,
God.
it's slowly becoming like North Cal. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, it's funny you mentioned that because I see it turning into like Sac in, like, I would say probably like 5 years or so at most. You know, it's really messed up. I have friends that literally have roommates because they can't afford like living in their own spot.
Yeah. Well,
Yet they expect us to move out.
Speaking of can't afford, what was that thing you were talking about with the whole climate change?
Climate?
Yeah.
Now, the news had said that there was a $739 billion bailout program for energy independence that they're intending in the next 10 years, that through like solar, wind, all that stuff, that they want to reduce emissions by 40%. Now, the reason it struck me is because we were all outside having a conversation the other night, and you guys had shown me a video about a scientist that had chained himself to Citibank. Was it Citibank?
Yeah, and not just any scientist, a NASA scientist. You're working for NASA and you're a scientist, you know something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He
100%.
sounded pretty distraught, almost like
He was crying.
almost yeah.
Yeah, he's really passionate about climate, you know, and the fact that no one's taking it serious. It's insane. 6 years is what we have to turn it around. It's not gonna happen, but I mean, you know, 10 billion in tax credits to build electric vehicles, solar panels, and wind turbines. I mean, is that really gonna make a difference? Probably not. Like, I'll be completely honest. 7,500 tax credit rebates for consumers to buy electric vehicles. You know, that's all you see now, especially here. You know, you got Tesla, North Cal, like Fremont's like 4 hours away, so that's where all these Teslas are being made. That's why you see them all over town. You know, we got the Gigafactory too.
So that's it. We have the battery plant for all of Tesla here. Well,
Yeah.
the hub. I think it's the hub for Tesla that builds all the batteries. A lot of people want to go work there that are from here. Eventually, want to go work there.
Yeah, at one point the Gigafactory was like the biggest warehouse in the world, which is pretty nuts. Like, I don't know if you guys knew, but when Australia had that huge massive fire,
I remember that.
Yeah.
Burned like 1 billion acres.
yeah, you know who they helped them out get back electricity. They made like power blocks. I don't know if you guys seen them. They're in people's homes and they're made at the Gigafactory. They look like huge fridges.
That's inaccurate. It's 1 billion animals that died. I don't know how many acres. I just remember the animals.
Oh, okay.
I'm all that.
Yeah, I know that they helped them out to like gain electricity because a lot of people's houses got burnt, a lot of people's land got messed up. So pretty cool. It does bring a lot of work, but it does have its downfalls with getting prices raised in housing, you know. But it's cool, you know. I'm glad 20 billion for loans to support electric vehicle plants. That's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
20 billion just to make plants for electric vehicles. I mean, you got a lot of companies now, like you got Volkswagen, who's coming out with that new the electric bus, which is pretty sweet.
Electric VW bus.
Yeah, pretty
Nice.
badass. You got all these hybrid cars. Would you ever get an electric vehicle, Josh?
I mean,
That's far in the future for me. I can answer that one. I'm a million years away from getting an electric powered anything. Go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
if I have to be so completely honest, I do love race cars.
That's valid.
But I'll just have to continue to live vicariously through Shay and his Subaru. But
really
I do
nice,
care about
Shay.
the earth, and I do often think about the earth and where it's at with its health. And I would probably I would definitely get a hybrid car just because I do care about earth and I want there to be a change, and I would love to see my children's children have children. But if people don't change and wake up to what's going on in the world, it's not going to happen. So I have to do my part if I expect others to do theirs.
But it definitely also gets you on gas prices. Like, I mean, obviously we want to go to electric for a multitude of reasons, pollution, all that stuff, but gas prices as well. I would say out of the four of us, Shay definitely drives the most. I have no clue what gas prices are at as far as I'm concerned. It's not even
$5.59 for premium.
$5.59. That's still too much for me.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. Another thing too is we here in Nevada. I was talking to Josh about this a couple weeks ago. The reason I'm mentioning this is because $20 billion to assess farmers and ranchers. So living in Nevada, you lived in, where was it? You said that there was just all ranch. Also
in Fallon, pretty
Fallon,
much.
yeah.
So I worked at a farm out there.
Yeah. So how was that like?
I'll tell you, dude.
I would have never pictured you as a farmer. This is a guy that's got gauges in his ears, tattooed almost, here's and there's everywhere you can see. When he wears a t-shirt, you can see at least 3 of them.
Yeah.
This is like the smooth suave guy at the house, well, one of them. And always wearing the Hurley stuff and Adidas, stuff like that. You never picture him as Farmer Josh.
I'll tell you what, man. I have a whole different kind of respect for farmers, man. Like, those guys bust their ass, and I'm not talking they're using like new and improved shit. I'm talking like, dude, they're still using shit from like what their dad's used to dig post holes.
That's
Do
insane.
you know how hard it is to dig a post hole for a fucking bunch of cows?
My first job, I was doing fencing. It was for a place called 2020 Fencing. We had to pound post, and that is no joke.
Yeah.
No joke. That's like 12 hours a day of that. And there was a big guy that came on the group, and he had quit in his first like 3
Yeah,
hours.
you see what I mean, dude? This dude
Exactly.
is a cornbread fed, ginormous white dude.
I'm so
And I'm like, oh my god, dude. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm like, dude, I need to go smoke some dope. Yeah, because I was using meth at the time, and I'd go and like sneak around and hide behind some cows and do a shot of some meth, and then just go back at it. But I'm like, dude, that's some seriously hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I never ever would have thought that I would have seen myself there working in a fucking farm.
That's crazy.
I'll
You
tell you
wake up
what.
early?
Fuck yeah, dude! Like 6 o'clock in the morning, and you're
like
not,
just in the movies when
Yeah.
the crow crows, or
Yeah.
the chicken.
and you're not done
Yeah,
until
roosters.
he says
That's
you're
it.
done. And I'm like, yo, I'm done. Time to clock out. He's like, nah, dude, you still got to clean out that horse trailer. That horse trailer is so caked with cow shit from wherever it is they pick those cows up to take them to the beef ranch. Dude, I'll tell you, do you know how hard it is to clean shit off of a cattle trailer?
A
Oh
lot.
my god, dude! And the
Do I
smell.
wanna know?
You don't want to know. You do not want to know.
Do you know how many horses fit on those things?
I remember counting at least 60 one time
Holy
on
shit.
just like the top, and then they have some on the bottom too. So anywhere from like 80 to 120.
That's
It
fucked.
varies, man. Those motherfuckers are big too.
Yeah.
But that top out is like the worst job. Like, there's dirty jobs, but that top out is like the number one dirty job.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah, without a doubt, for sure.
I feel like you gotta be passionate about it,
Passionate about your dirty jobs?
I mean, no, like those cowboys, dude. They really like their job. They really like what they're doing. They're about
Yeah.
that ranch life. If
There's
you're not
some
about
money.
it, you're not about it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's
Some
crazy.
make a lot of money doing it. too.
Yeah, no, it's Nevada's crazy, man. We got our fair share of cowboys. I mean,
Like, when I was working for the mines, because Northern Nevada is one of the biggest producers of micro gold in the world, and they have a lot of farmers and stuff, ranch hands that own a lot of that acreage that's in the northeastern part around Elka, Nevada, Carlin, Winnemucca, places like that. And they rent out to their land to farmers, or ranchers. They lend out their land to miners and stuff, and they charge a fortune for it.
I wouldn't be
They,
surprised.
farmers have their hands. They have their hands in a lot of stuff. Ranchers, I gotta say, not
Yeah.
farmers,
Oh, yeah.
ranchers.
And that's just one sort of income. You got other people too that like they either sell cattle or hay. Yeah. So that there's so many ways that a ranch could benefit you for income, but it's just kind of finding it, I guess. Not my type of living, honestly. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot. I don't know, maybe, but I'd really have to be passionate about it. And I don't think I am. So
Yeah, I'll
cool.
tell you this, man. I'll never do it again. It was an experience.
I don't blame
will
you.
say that, but I'm like, if they offered me money to go do it right now, I'd be like, sorry, dude. But
I gotta
Yeah.
pass and be
yeah,
broke.
like, I'm good, dude.
Yeah, the only thing I could relate to that was when I went with Travis to go help out the zebra.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we had a wing fest a couple weeks ago, and then they brought like camel. There was like 3 camels and a zebra or something.
Yeah.
You helped them out too, right?
Yeah, man.
That was the only.
I saw those pictures. Yeah, you guys took pictures of that and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
That's the only thing I could relate, and even it wasn't that bad because there was only like 4 animals, but I can only imagine with more animals. Yeah, it fucking reeks, dude. Like it reeks. We were like, me and Travis were scooping the shit up. It was fucking.
Yeah, I thought a ferret smelled bad, but
Nah, man. Nah, not at all. You know, it's fucked up. I mean, I don't know. We got a lot of crazy shit here in Reno. The summer's almost over though, boys. We had so many events going on. I mean, we do have the rib cook-off coming up.
Yes, we do, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Now in the rib cook-off every year they have competitive eaters, like the big competitive
I'd
eaters.
fucking lose.
Like Nikki Sudo and
The guy from the Nathan's hot dog?
yeah.
Oh.
Jaws. I forgot his name. Gosh dang it. Matt Stoney. He's one of the top.
Yeah.
Nikki Sudo is the top woman competitor. Joey Chestnut is the number one who has won like for the past God knows how many years. He's won the Nathan's Hot Dog Championship.
That's wild.
I think he also holds the wing record if I'm not mistaken.
Damn. So do they do that? They do eat ribs or what?
Yeah, they have a rib. It's a rib cook-off eating contest. It's usually held in front
Whoa.
of John Esquaga's Nugget.
Yeah.
I think it's on the opening day of the rib cook-off.
No way.
Yeah, that's something I've always wanted to go see.
Yo, that
I've seen it
sounds
last
pretty
year.
badass.
Yeah.
You went? How was that?
I was just fucking trying to steal ribs.
Hey, that's valid, yo. Those ribs are expensive.
Hey,
yo.
for honesty,
Yeah, you
man.
know, just keeping it real.
No, yeah. Like if you guys don't know, like people come from all over just to compete in this competition.
All over the world. It's
And
huge.
they're so expensive, so I don't blame you for stealing ribs, low key. You know, what I mean? Them things are so overpriced, but they're fucking good. You know, they have so many people come through, so many sauces to try, funnel cake. Dude, it's a blast, man.
Yeah.
It's something I look forward to towards the end of the summer. I mean, I'm sure you guys do too. You know, it's
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, they got the rib cook-off. It kicks off August 31st at 3:30.
This month,
Yo.
That is. So we're not too far away.
That's what's up. We gotta hit up activities. Hopefully, we become active.
Well, we got to get a pass.
Yeah.
We got to ask for a pass to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
doubt
you guys
it.
will chaperone us. Who knows?
Who knows, man?
Hey, if you guys can get a pass, man, I'll be more than happy to chaperone.
Hey, all right, then we'll broadcast live from the Negative, the rib cook-off. You'll be kicking
Oh,
it.
that'd be a treat.
Yeah,
Wouldn't it?
It would. We have a lot of events. Hot August Nights was cool. We went with what's his name? He took us.
Hey,
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
damn, they're tall, dude.
Yeah, he was
Works
cool.
here, works here with the glasses.
Yeah, he's cool though. He took us.
He used to play for Wolves Footpack. Football.
Yeah, he's cool though. He took us. I always look forward to it.
Blake.
Yeah. Shout out to Chris,
Okay.
man. Remembering Blake's name.
I can't remember anything else. But
Yeah, Blake's cool, man. He took us. It was cool. Hot August Nights, something we always look forward to. Also.
and I love muscle cars. I've actually owned 4 of them, believe it or not.
Really?
No way.
Yeah, I've owned a 1966 Ford Galaxy 500. I've owned a 1969 Dodge Super B. I've owned a 1971 Pontiac T37, and I've owned a 1973 Plymouth Duster.
Damn.
Those G37s are nice, man.
They are.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
my favorite car. It's the closest thing to a GTO Judge you can get.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, I watched that movie Dazed and Confused, and that car that kid had, the red car, said the Judge on it. Oh man, that is my shit right there.
Fuck yeah.
That's dope. Honestly, though, I feel like we would probably recap at the rib cook-off. What do you guys think? You know, probably
Could
catch
be
brothers
something
on there.
to do.
Yeah.
Also at the end of the year,
Oh yeah, we got the Reno Aces, but
air races.
oh, air race. Sorry about that, but that's more towards the end of the
The Red Bull Air Races?
Reno air races.
Okay.
Happens in September. But if anything, we'll check back on until then. Check out some races. Check out some ribs. What do you guys think? You know, sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I was glad to have Josh as a guest, and shout out to Shay as well. You know, anything else you guys want to add?
Yes, I'm going to. I always lead it off with something that I always let my guests listen to. You know, I've done this to you too.
Yeah.
And my co-host and everything. So this is a guy that his name is Robert Frank. He's a bodybuilder, and even he's been mentioned on Joe Rogan. He's got 250,000 followers, and you'll be able to tell right away why this guy is so popular because he flies off the handle. The way that he talks, and in this particular instance, he's sitting in the parking lot of his car, and he's pissed off because they closed the gym on Easter. So this is his thoughts of Jesus and Easter.
times I'd sit in the parking lot of the glorious House of Games. I noticed a sign on the front door that said that they would be closed on Sunday in observance of Easter. Now they could call it Easter, but I call it Chest Day Eve. And I find it pretty fucking ironic that on the same weekend that Jesus died for our sins, they would pull some dumb shit like that. Because in 2017, there is no bigger fucking sin than not being able to train and getting jacked and tan and juicy as fuck. And since it's what's so called the hardest weekend of the year, I want to clear up one of the biggest misconceptions in the history of mankind. They say Jesus Christ walked on water. They say Jesus Christ turned water into wine. I say Jesus Christ walked on rubber mats and he turned water into pre-workout and he fucking trained. And no one of the sickest fucking pumps anyone has ever fucking seen. Jesus was a kind man, but I can't help but think that for one fucking second on that fateful day, as he was being crucified, that he didn't look down and think to himself, do these motherfuckers even fucking lived? He rose again.
Dude, you remind me of
according to the
Macho
scripture,
Man.
and
He does a Macho Man thing
he
too.
said, I missed 2 days of bicep, tricep, supersets. Which one of you motherfuckers are coming to lift? Because swole is the goal, size is the prize. It's game the clock, motherfuckers. Let's go.
Damn, that's some Macho Man vibes for sure.
Believe it or not, Terrence that we work out with, he was the one that recommended that to me. You guys got all kinds of funny information around here. Everybody
Hell yeah.
does, from A to Z.
Hell yeah, well, just go work out if y'all don't. That should be an inspiration, you know?
Be
Thanks for being on
inspired.
board,
Thanks for
yo.
having me, man. The only thing I can
Absolutely.
say out there is,
Yeah, any advice?
if you're thinking about using drugs, don't. I know curiosity is going to probably get the better of you and you're going to do it anyways.
Cat killer to the
But-
core.
You know what I mean? All I can say is if you need help, don't feel afraid to reach out for it. It's not a shame to ask for help. It's not a stigma. And just remember, man, live life happy because you only got one, and we may only have 6 years left of it, according to the scientists. So I'm gonna live 6 years of that to my best. So that's all I got, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Hell
man.
yeah, thank you, Josh.
Absolutely.
Take it easy.
Josh, Shay,
Yep,
we
thank you,
definitely
Shay.
enjoyed having you with us, and it's been a pleasure. Next week we got
AD,
AD coming with us next week, and we got the rib cook-off to look forward to.
Yeah, and be solid, man.
Yep, we got some good things covered tonight, guys. Till next time, enjoy yourselves. This is Rehab Talk Radio with Chris,
And
Boy,
Kevin. Yeah.
Josh, and Shay. Have a good night.
Peace.